And this is also a short time episode. Which is my plan actually. So I'm thinking of creating a short time of episode, and which means this episode is going to last for a few minutes actually, I think. So but actually, so this kind maybe if you have no time, or if you are busy people, or if you are busy person, or if you are busy person, and I don't think you need to listen to this episode, and that is but actually, so if you are some scientists, or if you are, for example, sociologists, or some people who research in the field of sociology, or or how human societies work. So this episode, or this content I have created recently can be interesting. So anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this is about sociology, and roughly saying this episode is about a social phenomenon which is taking place in my country. And by the way, so I'm Japanese, and my mother tongue is Japanese language, which is why, so I think to start with, I think if you are frequent listeners of my podcast, I think you have already I think they have already known that I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and I have a low skill of speaking English language. And but actually, so if this is the first time for you listening to my podcast, and I'm a non-native speaker of English language, and my speaking up, so some people say that my speaking ability is up to the judgment of each person, and actually, so to start with, so I frequently digress when speaking things. So which is why, so when it comes to when it comes to measuring the proficiency of our language in the measurement of how people can, how the learners can speak out languages tersely, or logically, or tersely, logically, or concisely. So this proficiency can be low, or my proficiency of English language can be low, and that is because I frequently digress, and to start with, and of course I can speak English logically, but actually, so I frequently digress, and I sometimes I bring the conclusion at the last of my entire story. Anyway, so I have consumed almost 3 minutes, and which is why, so I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode, and the title is the sadistic girls made in Japan on sale, and the conclusion is a new content has been created, and the name of that content is Sadistic Girls Made in Japan on Sale, which is the same title. So anyway, so I created an article of Medium, and this episode is for advertising that written article, or that written document online. And anyway, so I have consumed 3 minutes, I have already consumed 3 minutes, so which is why, so I need to speak. I need to finish right away, and anyway, so please don't worry about it. I'm going to please do not worry about it. I'm going to introduce some parts of this online document I have just created recently. I have just created recently. So I speak really fast, and because sometimes I consume a lot of time off. I consume a long time for speaking out other things different from the main track of one episode, or of episodes. So such a thing occurs inside my brain, maybe. So which is why, so anyway, I need to introduce this one. So so the body, or the main composition starts with, first of all, let me tell you that this content is not about crime scenes, crime cases, or criminals, and this is the first sentence so far. It's possible to edit what is written in each article, or in each content. So which is why I make change the composition in the future, and I'm sorry for this buzzing sound of a motorbike in my country, and anyway, this is the sound of motorbike And anyway, so and if you love this sound, so I think it's fine. So my residence is my residence sometimes my residence has these external sounds anyway, but actually and anyway this is just a digression. So and anyway, so if you love sounds of motorbikes, and it's fine. And if you do not like, I'm sorry. If you find those sounds of motorbikes, irritating noises, so I'm sorry. And for example, and anyway, so roughly saying the conclusion, and so after accessing that article, so you can find out in the beginning part of that article some pictures, and so there are violent scenes, there are pictures having captured violent scenes and the scenes of violent cases, and the picture of which is what you are the pictures of which are what you are going to witness after accessing that article. But actually, those are the scenes of porn videos, and anyway, this is what I'd like to tell you in the beginning part of this article. And anyway, so there is a reason why this social phenomena is taking place or occurring. And the reason is written in the form of background. And wait a moment, please. And anyway, so the background is that so I said three phases. Or I divided, and there's only one entire reason, or there's only one entire cause. So not reason, but a cause. And I divided that cause into three phases. And one which is the country itself, and the phase 2 is the cause, and the phase 3 is outcome of the cause. And maybe you have already been confused, not consumed, but confused. Maybe you may have your own vehicle, you may have your own concentration confused by my stuttering manner of speaking English. But actually, anyway, so the phase 1 is the phase just is that so there are three phases in that entire course, and which is so roughly saying this country, or Japan, is becoming a poor country, and so which is why so the girls in this country have become poor. And they have become poor actually. So this country is becoming this country is declining to start with, and not any, but actually many people are becoming poor, and many people, and to start with many people have already been impoverished, and this country has many people who are impoverished. And anyway, so the phase 3 is outcomes of the outcomes of the cow. The outcome of the cows, not the plural, but the singular form. And anyway, so the outcome is that those cows those Japanese cows want to release their own stress or their own frustration. So which is why they are willing to participate in creating porn videos, and the genre or the category of the porn video of those porn videos is sadomasochism. So which means those Japanese cows easily become Japanese sadists, and they torment, body abuse or tease or torture masochistic men. Which is what is taking place. And if you don't like, and I have created the section for solution, what to talking about, writing about what to do. And anyway, so what to do is, I created, and for now I have created 3 cases. And anyway, so the case 1, if you live in Japan, or you are involved in the business of Japan, and your sexual preference is normal. If you live in this country, you need to leave this country as soon as possible. And if you are normal, if you are decent people, or if you are normal people, or if you are not sadist, non-masochist, so and who live in this country, so you need to leave this country. You need to leave this country as soon as possible. That's it. So but actually, so if you are masochist or sadist, and if you are female masochist, if you are female sadist, and you need to. I recommend that you read case 3. And if you are male masochist, and I recommend you read case 2. And if you are sadistic, male sadist, and if you are female masochist, so it's up to your decision whether you are going to leave this country or you are going to run away from this country or not. And I recommend, but actually, apart from your male masochist or your female sadist, I recommend that you leave away from this country, or I recommend that you go away from or run away from this country, because this country is a declining country, and this country is going to be a poor country, and this country is rushing to a nightmarishly dark future, which is what maybe I wrote this one in this article, and this is all the stuff anyway I'd like to tell you this time. So wait a moment, please. I'm going to. I don't think it's necessary to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode, and the title is "Wait a moment, please." Yes, and Sadistic Girls Made in Japan on sale, and the conclusion is yes, a new content has been created, and the name of which is the same as the title of this episode, and the conclusion of this episode is the same as that of the last episode. But actually, it's just, and so I'm thinking of creating contents in this manner, which means I'm thinking of creating, and so this is just a plan. But actually, I'm thinking of creating in the future, at least for the near future, or for the near future, I'm thinking of creating written documents or online documents into Medium, and I'm thinking of creating case studies for each for example, each adult content I have created before, and I created before, which is not uploaded anymore. For example, I'm thinking of creating such a thing. For the recording my having created adult contents, or my creating adult contents, and anyway, including actual cases of burnings or tortures, which have been done by sadistic girls against masochistic men or masochistic boys, and such contents are what I'm thinking of creating, when I create a case study, and I'm thinking of creating an episode of my podcast, which is my plot, or which is my plan. I'm thinking of recently,